Let's talk priority self-pub 2022. I'd like to give a huge shout out to my new top tier Wizard Master patron, Ryan. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew. And today I got another video for you, but before we get to that video, make sure you're liking and subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates from when I put out new videos. I post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Also, make sure you're checking that description box down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord, as well as links to all of my social media and information about my Patreon. And that said, guys, this is just one of the few priority lists that I've got coming out here, kind of talking about what I want to read in 2022. Specifically this year, I kind of want to do a focus on self-pub because I've found a lot of great self-pub that I absolutely fell in love with last year. I mean, my book of the year last year, 2021, was self-pub. That was Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. And, I mean, that was just narrowly beating out, like, Nightmare Land by Daniel Barnett, Cradle by Will White, like, just amazing self-pub. And so I kind of want to keep that streak going. And so I've got a stack of books right here. And it's in no particular order, like, literally, I don't know. Well, I know when I'm fitting in a couple of them, like, two of them are kind of, like, on deck. And I'll tell you which ones are which. And then throughout the year, I would just like to really start or, prioritize these series. And, right off the top of the pile, we've got Paternas by Dirk Ashton. I follow Dirk on Twitter, but really he came to my attention through Patrick Leo. And on books 2 and 3, which you can see kind of right up there, he's got blurbs on the back, and I always think it's so cool whenever a booktuber makes a blurb on a cover. Like, that's like the dream come true as a reviewer, right? And, I mean, this one is, like, urban fantasy. I used to read a lot of urban fantasy back in, like, 2017, 2018. And I think I started tapering off in 2019. And this one's, like, urban fantasy with, like, a ton of gods. And I've read a little bit of the first one a while ago. And I think that was when I was starting to taper off of urban fantasy. And so it kind of got put to the side. But I just got all 3 books, like I said, right there. And I would just really love to get back to this one. So you can definitely look forward within at least the next 12 months, hopefully, into some Paternas content. Because it's a trilogy, and the 3rd book is beefy. Like, I was surprised how beefy that book is. But yeah, definitely want to get into this one. Now, I have to talk about this one. And specifically, we're talking about this one early on in the video, because this is kind of the announcement. In March of 2022, you can join us for a read-along of Daniel T. Jackson's Illborn. Specifically, this started out as a read-along, or just kind of as a buddy read, a birthday buddy read, between me and Leslie over at the Nerdy Narrative. And then a bunch of people have recently picked this up because it's been getting a little bit of buzz. My buddy Dominish, did a review of this. Patrick Leo just dropped a review of this. We are going to be doing a dedicated read-along in the month of March for Daniel T. Jackson's Illborn. I don't know a whole lot about this. I've heard some criticisms about the cover, and I kind of agree. I slept on this one for so long because the cover did not pull me in. This looks just a little bit too much like Narsil from The Lord of the Rings, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, it's got these kind of scoops out right here, but other than that, it's like a shot-for-shot remake. So I would like to see a new cover of this. But it definitely sounds really good. Long ago, the Lord Endul emerged from the deserts of the Holy Land. Possessed with divine powers, he used those to forcibly unite the people of Angol before his ascension to heaven. And then we pick up 800 years later. This is a chunky book, but you can definitely look forward to some Illborn content when we do that buddy read. Now this one is on deck. I am hoping to either read this one next month or the month after. And that is Burn Red Skies by Kirsten Espinoza Rosario. I think I've said that right. Guys, look at this cover. This is currently an SFPB. I always get this. It's weird. Whenever you think of an acronym, and then, it just happens to be a bit longer, your brain muddles it. So, it's SFPBO 7 finalist. There we go. I think I got that right this time. And I don't know a whole lot about this other than it's been getting a little bit of buzz. It's a finalist. It's got an amazing cover. It's a shorter book, which again, shorter books for the win right now. But, I mean, listen to this blurb on the back. It starts with a rift that burns 1,000 scars into the sky. It makes the winds stop. It makes the stars go dark. It awakens an ancient beast, and with it, a new reign of blood. It is the summoning, and it is the heart of... And at the heart of it is fire. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, this sounds so good. In the shadows, it listened and waited. Like, this just sounds awesome. It sounds like it's got dragons. It sounds like the dragons are going to be a bit of a problem. And I really, really want to get to this one soon. This is on deck, along with another one that I'll talk about a little bit later. This is also, I believe, an SFPBO 7 finalist. And that is The Iron Crown by L.L. McCree. I believe I've said that correctly. This is a UK-based author, and this is a hard one to get. I had to send out to the Broken Binding to get this one. It is signed, which is really, really cool, and it feels really good in the hand. So this one is signed. I don't know what to say about this one other than it just sounds cool. Basically, this is The Dragon Spirits, Book 1, and Finn's first and only memory is finding himself in the middle of a forest, face-to-face with a dragon. A dragon spirit mocking him, all knowledge gone apart from his own name. Lost and confused, his only hope for answers is Calidria, a woman living on the edge of the world with her partner, forced to return home when her father dies. Calidria has put off facing her estranged mother for 7 years, and she begrudgingly helps Finn, forging papers for him so he can avoid the Queen's Inquisitors. But her mother is the least of her worries when they discover an ancient enemy is rising again. It should be impossible for with the Iron Crown and power, and Finn is terrified he might unwittingly be playing a part in the war's resurgence. Surrounded by vengeful spirits and powerful magic, Finn's desperate attempt to find his way home might well alter the fate of Tassar and every power in it. I do know that, of course, this has like dragon spirits in it, which I think is really cool. I like dragon spirits. It definitely works for me because Dragon Mage pulled it off. I am super excited about this one, especially because it's a finalist. And yes, I've talked about this one. This is the only sci-fi on the list. This is We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. There are 3 books in this. I only have the first one. Again, short books are awesome. Frankly, with a name like We Are Legion, We Are Bob. I heard this is like a little bit of a silly kind of thing, but it's like Bob Johnson has just sold his software company and is looking forward to a life of leisure, or leisure, depending how you say it. There are places to go, books to read, and movies to watch. So it's a little unfair when he gets himself killed crossing the street. Bob wakes up a century later to find that corpuscles have been declared to be without rights, and he is now the property of the state. He has been uploaded into computer hardware and is slated to be the controlling AI in an interstellar probe looking for habitable planets. I'll stop right there. This sounds hilarious. It sounds like a hoot. And yeah, I definitely want to give that one a shot. Again, I've been talking a lot about Emil Spencer, but that's because Dragon Mage was so good. And we've got the Chaos Cycle, books 1 and 2 on the list for this year as well. These are signed. I had to score these off of, like, eBay. But these are signed copies. And yeah, these are just... I don't know a whole lot about these, other than the fact that the dude is on the cover. He's got chains. Some bonds are stronger than iron. Let's see. He thought he was born Raylan Marshall until he found out he wasn't. Instead, he was born the son of a demon. I don't need to hear any more. I'm already interested. But yes, this one is definitely a priority. Look at that cover. I swear, some of the greatest art coming out in the modern day is on book covers, and it never gets any attention, and it's just unfair. This is book 1 of the 7 Virtues by Jacob Peppers. I've been seeing this one all over Kindle Unlimited, and finally I was just like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I've only got the first book, but this is a sellsword's companion, and it basically says, war sweeps the land as the sons and daughters of the late King Marcus battle over who will claim their father's throne, and able-bodied men and women flock to one cause or the other in the hopes of a better tomorrow. At least most of them, if life has taught them... At least most of them. If life has taught the jaded sellsword Aaron Envelar anything, is that hope is for fools, and causes are a sure remedy for breathing. Sure remedy for... That's funny, I've never heard that before. That sounds good. Alright, and then this one, of course, I've been hearing a lot of buzz about. Some of the best covers in the self-pub world. That's going to be Philip C. Quintrell's The Echoes Saga. I've got the first 5 books in this in physical copy. I've got 4 more to collect. But, I mean, it just says the first in a brand new saga from Philip C. Quintrell. He wrote, I think, 9 books in 5 years, which is ridiculous. I agree with my buddy Alan, because I think he just got the first one in these. The Echoes of Fate, a prophecy uttered unto the world 1,000 years ago, cannot be denied. Mankind has lorded over the land of Ilion for 1,000 years, enjoying what was left to them by the elves, as if it were their birthright. 1,000 years is a long time for an immortal race to see the error of their ways and realize a truth that has remained unsaid for millennia. Elves are superior. I'm just going to stop there. Sounds cool. Alright, this one is The Executioner's Rights. Again, great cover by Felix Ortiz. I know who did this one. This one I mentioned when I hauled it. Executioners don't solve crimes. They punish those who commit them, or so Finn thought before he apprenticed to one. There's, I think, 5 books currently out in this series. And it follows an executioner that, like, gets an apprentice, of course. And then they find out that the executioner has more duties. It's set in, a fantasy world, of course. But, like, it's super readable text. And I'm really, really interested because D.K. Holmberg has a massive backlog of books. And I've never heard of this individual. So I want to give this one a shot. And if I end up loving this series, I'll probably check out more of his stuff. Alright, so we've got, this one is also one that's currently on deck, because it's a short one, it's a beautiful naked hardcover, and that is Michael S. Jackson's The Path and the Way Ringlander. This is book 1, and I don't know a whole lot about this, but it's the ways of those who shape the world shape us all. I think this is like Asian-inspired fantasy, which I just love Asian-inspired fantasy. I keep wanting to get more and more into it, so without really, like, spoiling this one for me, and it's got a nice, gorgeous map. I've got a full print of this as well, but I've got a nice map in there. It's like it's literally a ring world, where it's, like, in the shape of, like, a ring-shaped island. I don't know, again, I don't know a whole lot about this, but it's got a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. So I'll be definitely checking that out. And then digitally, because I don't have these in front of me, I've got, I believe, Blood of the Spear by Mark Timoney. I really, really want to get to this one. I've had this one digitally for, like, 6 months. I've heard it's very reminiscent of Wheel of Time, and for that reason alone, I really, really want to get it. I really, really want to fit it into my TBR this year. I don't know if it'll happen, but I really want to. And then last but not least, because I heard this one is very much like Faithful and the Fallen, and that's Ryan Cahill's Of Blood and Fire. I heard this one is very, very, very similar to Faithful and the Fallen. I know my buddy Dominish absolutely loves this book, so I cannot wait to fit that into my TBR. So guys, in the comment section down below, please let me know if you've read any of these or which ones I should really, really be prioritizing. I really want to know because, like I said, I want to be reading a lot more self-pub this year. Also, I mean, just check some of these out for yourself. Like, there is no better way to support a self-pub author than just reading their book and getting it in your collection, showing it off, talking about it. I really, really love interacting with and supporting self-pub authors. That said, guys, that's all I've got for you. So, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.